I want to have a serious conversation about how to grow your tax practice. In today's conversation, I'll be giving you 5 proven low-cost strategies for scaling your CPA, EA, or tax practice. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's discussion, I want to give you the tools, the tricks, the tips, everything you need to grow your tax practice. I'll be giving you 5 proven low-cost strategies for scaling your CPA, EA, or tax practice. Let me reiterate here that being a tax practitioner is one of the best career options one could take. And we are here to make it even better, to give you all the tactics you need to grow even more. Here is why being a tax practitioner is an excellent career choice. Well, a career in tax preparation has always been rewarding if you really think about it. Recent changes and trends in the tax preparation industry, driven by technology, legislation, and demographics, will make the outlook for tax professionals even more attractive when you really think about it. So here are some reasons why you want to stick to the tax preparation and even do better. You want to expand your practice. You want to become more knowledgeable. First of all, you can save on your own taxes when you are a tax practitioner, right? Nobody's going to take care of your income taxes. You know the drill yourself. You've been through it, so you can actually save on taxes, and you can save on taxes for your family also. You have high income potential. This is really important. There are places in this country where people earn upwards of $50 per hour when you are a tax practitioner. You can even earn more, $100 per hour. It depends on your niche. You have a fast track to a professional career, okay? A college degree is not required to be a tax practitioner, but if you really want to go a little further, let's say you want to become an EA or a CPA or a JD, a tax attorney, then you might want to go back to school. But it is great. The potential is there. You have career stability, right? A tax preparer job is recession proof, recession resistant. If the economy is down, people will need to file their taxes. If the economy is up, people would still need to file their taxes. So you're making money either way. You have a personal satisfaction, really great. You have a high demand for tax professionals. Your professional status in the community is fantastic. Okay, you have flexibility. You can work from home. You can work for Acapulco on vacation. Wherever you are, you can work in your car. You just need to have access to the internet. That's all. The job is portable. We have portability. Okay, you can actually file taxes for military, for servicemen, for example, service members, for folks who are overseas. Okay, and we love the fact that being a tax preparer can be a complementary step to other professions. For example, you can become, I've said this before, a CPA and accountant, because knowing tax accounting is great for knowing financial accounting, for example. Or you can also go into other ancillary fields. You can become a financial analyst, a personal finance advisor, and so on and so forth. Okay, now I want to get into the whole nitty gritty. So here we have 5 steps to grow your tax practice. Number 1, you want to pick a niche. Okay, and there are 2 aspects here. When we talk about picking a niche, we are speaking about choosing a niche and then situating your practice based on the niche you have chosen. Let's first talk about choosing the right niche. It's very important. You have to understand, when we talk about being a tax practitioner, there are 4 general types of tax preparers. You have the CPAs, the EAs, the enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and non-credentialed preparers. So the CPAs, you got to go through an exam. You got to have experience in terms of tax preparation, but also in terms of audit, attestation services, compilation services, all that kind of stuff. And you definitely have to have experience at a CPA firm. For an enrolled agent, you have to pass an exam that is administered by the IRS, okay? And you have to understand that you are licensed by the IRS, whereas the CPA licensing is happening at the state level, but EA is licensed by the IRS. Then you also have a tax attorney. Those are people who have experience in terms of tax laws and all that kind of stuff. And if you can have a JD and or an LLM, what we call the Master of Laws, Legal Magister. Okay, and as a tax lawyer, you are really good at preparing tax returns, planning taxes, and providing advice to clients on a wide variety of strategies for reducing their taxes. Okay, one thing I need to specify here that CPAs, EAs, and tax attorneys have unlimited rights to represent a client before the IRS. If you're a non-credentialed tax preparer, this is also good. You can make money, but you cannot have unlimited rights to represent clients. Okay, those are things you need to think about. And there are services. When we think about picking a niche, there are services you can offer. So individual tax services, so tax preparation, estate taxes, income taxes, stock option planning, tax dispute and litigation, tax controversy. You have wealth management, family office services, trust and estate planning, transaction advisory, insurance advisory, matrimonial, financial planning, bankruptcy, and international services. This is for individual tax services. You also have business taxation. This is where you deal with 1120S, 1120C, 1065. It really depends on you. So those are things I really want you to really pay attention to when you are embarking on a career as a tax preparer. You have to pick your niche, and this is very important. I want to quickly show you an example of something that is really well done, and you should emulate this example. I want to show you Block Advisor by H&R Block. And everybody knows H&R Block as a provider of tax preparation software, right? But did you know that right now they are also actually embarking on the field? They are getting to the market of being tax practitioners and being small business advisors. I want you to look right now on the screen and see their strategy. And the goal here is what? The goal here is to emulate them. The goal here is to look for what they're doing and trying to come up with a similar strategy. So here you can see on the first screenshot, H&R Block, the Block Advisors, they are actually providing services for small businesses in terms of taxes, okay? And you can see that the marketing is done very well. It's very clean. It's very simple. You have a woman, an expert, who is talking about the service, who is vouching for the service, okay? And I'm telling you this because as you are thinking about preparing your website, creating a website, you want to think flexibility, you want to think simplicity, you want to think transparency, you want to think expertise, thought leadership. Those are things I want you to think about. Don't go and just get me one of those convoluted websites where it's so hard to navigate. Users don't even know where to start and where to end. No, you want something very simple. I want you to look now on the second screenshot. Look here. So they have actually divided their niche into 4 sub niches. So they have self-employed, S corporation, C corporation, and partnership. Very simple, straight to the point. This is something you should emulate. This is something you should imitate. Very important. So you can see the pricing for self-employed. Again, it's very clear, very simple, not a lot of text, straight to the point. 180, 145 in terms of pricing. Second screenshot, you can see the pricing for S corporations, 260. All right, so again, we are speaking here about clarity, going straight to the point. Screenshot number 3, their pricing for C corporations, very straightforward. Their pricing for partnership, screenshot number 4. And screenshot number 5, you can see here they are talking about their value added, how they're adding value to the business. So clients know exactly what to expect. Everything is clear. The strategy is clear. The business model is clear. They talk about 100% accuracy guarantee, growing your bottom line, specialize in small businesses, and year-round access to health. So we're not speaking here about cyclicality and seasonality. They are offering year-round tax guidance. And you can see here the next, they are showing you what makes them special. And here, number 6, they also have some small business health check in terms of advisory. So this is a great business model that you should emulate, that you should imitate. Think about it. Okay, so when we talk about picking a niche, the first step is to pick an actual niche. In other words, a segment of the market. This is very important. The second thing you need to do in the picking a niche category is to position yourself based on the niche you have chosen. You need to situate your practice now and find out what's needed to reach your end goal. This is very important because when we speak about tax preparation, this is a vast market. This is a multi-billion-dollar market that evolves every year because you have more people that are born, more people who are becoming adults, who are past 21 years old or who are past 18 years old, so they need to file taxes. So the market is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So my question to you is, where do you see yourself in, say, 3 or 5 years? Talk to me about that. Talk to me about where you position yourself right now. I want you to look on the screen here. Here is our tax software research practice evaluation grid. And you need to pay attention to the practice size because the practice size is where everything starts. Are you a single member practitioner? Are you an oligo member practitioner? Are you a multi-member practitioner? Are you a small practice? Are you a mid-sized practice? Talk to me about your size because this is important. This is going to affect the resources that you will allocate to your business model. You also need to have brand recognition, and I'm not talking about having the Nike or the Apple kind of brand recognition where everybody knows about you. I'm talking about being known in your local community. I'm talking about being known in your city. Let's start with that. Let's start with being known around the block. Let's start being known in your own family, in your own social circle, in your own church, in your own mosque, in your own synagogue. Talk to me about those things. This is what's going to help you pick a niche and stick to the niche and grow within that niche before you can actually scale down the road. And a niche is also important, and the size of your practice also have an impact on the kind of software you go for. You're not going for LaCert if you're a single member practitioner. No, LaCert is too expensive for you. You want to go for smaller, not smaller, but you want to go for less convoluted, quote unquote, less complex software, for example. You also need to think about your client acquisition strategy. Are you going for an aggressive strategy, a semi-aggressive, or mild strategy? What about offline and online marketing? Those are things you need to pay attention to. Step number 2. This is actually the second best practice. You want to invest in CPE. What I mean by CPE, you want to invest in continuing professional education. This is very important, okay? And what types of tax preparers need continuing education? Attorneys and CPAs, as well as enrolled agents, by law, need to invest and they need CPE credits. If you are a non-credentialed tax preparer, you don't need CPEs by laws. However, I would strongly, and our research vouches for this, that you need to invest in your own training, in your own knowledge, because as a tax professional, the only thing you bring into the table here is your expertise. Clients rely on you to solve problems, to solve tax-related problems, but also financial problems in some cases, financial planning problems, okay? So this is very important to keep that in mind. And you also need to, if you are a non-credential tax preparer, you have two options. Simply renew your status as a PTIN, as a preparer tax identification number holder without pursuing CE, or you can participate in the IRS annual filing season program. So what is that? So the IRS designed the AFSP to acknowledge the efforts of non-credential return preparers who aspire to a higher level of professionalism. So this program allows tax preparers who are not attorneys, CPAs, or EAs to stay up to date on the latest tax laws and distinguish themselves from their competition. So obtaining your AFSP record of completion means taking 18 hours of yearly CE, including 10 hours on federal tax law, 6 hours of an annual federal tax refresher course, plus an accompanying comprehension test, okay, and 2 hours of ethics. And I would strongly advise you to take those. Those are really, really good, okay? You also want to think about getting proper education and training. not just for the CPE requirements or the CE requirements, but just for yourself as a tax practitioner. You really want to get to that level. And if it is possible, you might want to become an enrolled agent. You don't want to pursue the CPA route, because CPA means that you have to devote 4 to 5 years for an accounting degree, 1 to 2 years of service in a CPA firm, and passage of the CPA exam. Maybe you don't want that, so go for the enrolled agents rather. Okay. By and large, what I'm saying here is that investing in your CPE, investing in continuing professional education, and becoming an EA, for example, has a lot of it does have a lot of benefits. You have unlimited representation rights. You can prepare more complicated returns and make more money, and you can be in good standing with the IRS, and you can increase your credibility. Strategy number 3, folks. When we talk about growing your tax practice, there are things you need to do to when it comes to using tools. You have to use the right tools. You want to stay organized with the tax practice software. Not a tax preparation software, but a tax practice software. There are a lot of them. We have a show that is coming up on this topic, so I'm not going to reveal too much here. But you want to evaluate your efficiency right now. Are you a single member practice, or are you an oligo member practice? Are you a small practice? How do your team members work? Are they working from home, in the office? And it's important to consider at some point. It's important to consider at some point a tax preparer software, because gone are the days when tax preparers had to do things manually, and nowadays even the IRS mandates that tax preparers file the majority of forms electronically. It's great for the agency. It's great for clients. It's great for tax preparers, because it's a win-win-win situation. You get paid quickly, clients get their refunds quickly, and the IRS has more efficiency in reviewing and approving returns. Okay, so when we talk about tax software, you have some key benefits, and it doesn't matter whether you are filing returns for businesses or returns for individuals. The benefits are the same. So first, you have increased time savings. Okay, things like calculation, things like looking for depreciation schedules, all these things are done automatically for you. This is cost effective, because a professional tax software can be a great option for businesses or individuals when it comes to cost savings. Okay, one thing you need to understand is that manual tax filing work increases the possibility of tax errors to a great extent. We are all humans. Stuff happens. People make mistakes. I don't care how many years of experience that you have, or if you are a CPA a PhD, whatever it is, you can make errors. You have high accuracy with minimal errors when you go with the tax software. You have e-filing facility, right? You have the option to pay your taxes online, to pay your client's taxes online with just a few easy clicks from your computer. And you have an easy record keeping of taxes. We all know how important that is. So for your clients, and when it comes to archiving, using software can be a great tool, but it has to be the right software though. We have actually covered this on other shows. So we have covered the top 10 tax preparation software tools. If you're interested in that topic, you can read about it. But yet, you gotta choose the right software. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you today about 5 proven low-cost strategies for scaling your CPA, EA, or tax practice. And number 4, because number 3 I gave you got to use the proper tools. Number 4, you got to be driven. So when we talk about being driven, we are speaking about focusing yourself, focusing on the business itself. Okay, here are the 10 steps you must follow to make sure the business is strong and can scale quickly. Because when we analyze a tax practice, an existing tax practice, we pay attention to 4 tiers of profitability. You have seasonality, cyclicality, you have stability, you have sustainability, and then you have scalability. So actually 5 tiers. Most practitioners are in the lower tiers. So you have stability, you have seasonality, you have cyclicality. So they make money from January through April, and that's it. And but you want to get into the higher tiers. You want to get into sustainability and the scalability. So you need to have a viable business plan. If you want to get in, if you want to make money, you need to have a viable business plan that talks about where you see your practice 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You got to be clear on that. You want to establish an execution timeline for the business plan. Obviously, in your business plan, you have a lot of deadlines, a lot of milestones, a lot of SMART goals. SMART here stands for specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time bound. And those goals must be very clear. You need to have a customer acquisition strategy. How are you going to get clients? By recruiting the right people, by understanding the needs of your target customers, by actually setting a budget, by confirming the right target customers for your business. This is really important. Okay, try to pick the right channels in terms of gathering, in terms of funneling clients to your practice. You got to use a different strategy for each channel. Think about co-branding. Think about a website, because the website is very important. You want to be able to be visible online. You want to invest in publishing content on external sites. This is where you actually set credibility. You become a thought leader in a specific field. Think about marketing on social media, cross-channel acquisition. You can advertise on different forums. Okay. Again, you got to have the resources for those, though. I'm not saying just don't go out there and just waste money. Okay. Think about using email marketing and keep track of the analytics. Those are important. Prepare and customize your sales speech. It's important. Improve client satisfaction over the long run. This is also very important. And you also want to pay attention to your overall online presence. And when we talk about online presence, we're not just speaking about your website, although this is the quintessential element here. This should be the fulcrum of your strategy, right? You want to have a website that is professional, that is transparent. I showed you earlier what H&R Block is doing with their Block advisors. That's just impeccable. You want to imitate that. You want to emulate it. Okay, this is important. And you want to be very clear, go straight to the point, not a lot of text. We don't want to read a whole book here. We just want a client just want to see what you can do for them, how you can add value to their life. Trying to do that. When we speak about improving your online presence, of course, we're speaking about your website. This is important. But what about your social media? You got to have an active social media presence. Talk to me about that. Do you have that? You don't have it now, but you must have it. At a minimum, you must be on LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay, and if you want to grow your audience even more, you can just invest in a YouTube channel. You don't have to grow. You don't have to have a lot of followers, but you just need to have a voice, and that's what YouTube gives you. You want to focus on referrals. Okay, referrals are one of the best ways to find excellent, loyal customers, because they have been referred to you by known people whom they know and trust. Okay, so when client gives your name as a great accountant to one of their friends, that means that they're not only satisfied with your services, but happy enough to recommend that their friends use you. And this is a virtuous circle, and that's what you want. You want to stay updated. You want to stay abreast of what's going on in the industry, right? Because we all know, we're all practitioners. We understand that tax laws change all the time. So you got to keep up with what's going on in Washington, D.C. in terms of Congress, in terms of IRS, in terms of the Treasury Department. All this sort of agencies and agencies and branches of the government, they impact our tax laws. So you got, as a practitioner, you have to be aware of those. And you want to grow with your clients. If you have a small business client and the client is constantly growing, you need to adjust your prices, you need to adjust your services, you need to adjust your guidance, the kind of expertise you are offering the client. So think about that. You want to think about scalability, not only your own scalability, your own practice's scalability, but also the scalability of the business you are advising. Very important. And also start an email marketing list. Yeah, again, you don't have to wait until January through April to engage with your clients. No, you want to engage with them throughout the year so that come tax season, they remember you. You want to get social, folks. Very important. And this is the fifth strategy. This is the fifth proven strategy. Earlier, I was talking to you about having an online presence. That's good, but this is passive. Now, I want you to be not only active online, but also offline. And when we talk about getting social, we were speaking about getting involved with the community, your local community. Or you have to go to community business events to meet other professionals in the industry. Are you participating in charitable activities? This is important. Obviously, you are a tax practitioner, but does anybody know you outside tax circles? Or are you just spending 20 hours in your office and you just work until midnight and you go home, sleep, and come back the next day? No, this is not how you grow a tax practice. You got to get out there for people to know you. Okay, you don't need to be a college professor to teach accounting. Everybody needs financial education. So simple accounting topics would be very helpful to many individuals in your community. And as a tax accountant, chances are you do have, at least, you don't have to have a CPA, but you do have some basic notions in personal finance, in balance sheet, in income statement, all that kind of stuff, in budgeting. Okay. Also, think about donating your time. You're donating your time to charities, volunteer. Okay. Build partnerships with other non-tax professionals. I'm speaking about lawyers. I'm speaking about business consultants, personal finance, insurance agents, everybody that revolves around the finance world. You can actually reach out to them. And not just the finance world, you can actually go beyond that, because everybody in your community can actually use your services. Why? Because everybody files taxes. This is the law. So your market, your potential market is huge. You want to network with peers. You want to be in a movement where you are constantly able to network with your peers. It's not about competition. It's about knowing what's going on in the industry. You can go to events. As I said before, the market for taxes is huge. So don't worry about competitors. You want to worry about your practice. What are the things you are doing to grow? You want to join industry groups and trade associations. This is very important. So you meet professionals in the industry. You know what's really going on. You know things that are happening in the industry in terms of regulatory changes. You want to think about the new trends, where customers are, what customers need. You need that. And you can also join your local chamber of commerce. Yeah. You want to be seen, again, as a leader in the industry, but also as a leader in the community. All right, folks. This is it for today's conversation. I was actually talking to you quickly about how to grow your tax practice, and I gave you 5 proven low-cost strategies for scaling your CPA, EA, or tax practice. Number 1, you need to pick a niche. Number 2, you need to invest in CPE, in continuing professional education. Number 3, you need to use the proper tools. Number 4, you need to be driven in terms of focusing on your business. And number 5, you need to get social. Get involved in your community, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.